I'd like to welcome you to the April 10th City Council meeting. We have 10 items on our agenda this evening. To begin with, Mr. Fawson, if you would, please continue with the roll call of members.
Clay. Corcoran.
Here.
Florima. Gray.
Here.
Kearney.
Here.
Neal.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Kroll.
Here.
Tatman.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Fawson. If everybody would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The minutes from the previous meeting have been distributed for review. Do we have any changes, or do we have a motion to accept the minutes? I have a motion by Mrs. Kearney, seconded by Mrs. Neal. Roll call on the motion to accept the minutes, please.
Clay. Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And the minutes have been accepted from the previous meeting. At this time, we have reports from our committees. Who would like to go first? Ms. Patrick.
Thank you. I'd like to report on 3 items on the agenda tonight. Number 8, it's from the special committee that was created, and it's a resolution amending Chapter 111 of the revised codified ordinances to provide that the president and members of City Council shall be elected to 4-year terms, and resolving that said amendments be placed before the electors at the election to be held November 7th of this year. This resolution is a result of several committee meetings. The ballot language will be very close to this, which is stated in the ordinance. It says, shall the revised ordinances of the City of Chillicothe be amended to provide that the president and members of council shall be elected to 4-year terms effective on the first day of January following the next regular municipal election by amending Chapter 111. Then it would say for the terms amendment or against it. So it's either a for or against that you vote on. And if passed by the voters, the council president and members' term would increase from 2 to 4 years on the first day of January following the next regular election, which would be January 1st, 2020. This resolution will go all 3 reads. Item number 9 is a companion ordinance, and it would add sections 111.01C and 111.10C to our city ordinances. Section 111.1C states that each member of council for the City of Chillicothe shall be elected for a term of 4 years. And then section 111.10C states the president of council for the City of Chillicothe shall be elected for a term of 4 years. This ordinance can only go in effect if the increase in term length is passed by the voters, and this will go all 3 reads. The third item is number 10. It's an ordinance accepting and adopting the new City of Chillicothe Transit System procurement policy, the Chillicothe Transit System financial management policies, and the CTS QuickBooks accounts payable and receivable procedures for the transit department. These are policies that are required by ODOT, and they need to be in place by, I think it's the end of May. I think it's the 17th. Since discussion about the oh, that was it. I'm right. And then I have an update on several outstanding committee assignments. Number 16-030 is a request to allow 1 sewer lateral to serve 3 structures on the same property at 475 Douglas. Mr. Phillips and his attorney have requested a meeting with the Utilities Chair Johnson, Law Director Rutherford, and the Utilities Committee Chair. Once that meeting has been held, I will update the Utilities Committee and the rest of Council. Number 17-033 is a request for approval to trade in an old backhoe for the purchase of a new one. We're still waiting on a second estimated value. Number 17-044 is a request for a dry well in the alley behind 169 7th Street. This is moving forward. The legislative request was turned into the Law Director's office on April 5th and should be on our next agenda. And number 17-045 is a request for a street light at the corner of East Main and Logan Street. This is also moving forward, and again, this should be on our next legislative agenda. And finally, number 17-052, it's a request for legislation to approve new and/or updated bloodborne pathogens exposure control plan and the safety, security, and emergency preparedness plan for the Transit Department. This legislative request was turned into the Law Director's on April 5th. I expect it to be on the April 24th agenda, and it needs adopted by May 17th, the same as item number 10. It's May 17th. And that concludes my report.
Pat, you've been busy. Thank you very much. Anybody else have a committee report? Yes, Mr. Poole.
Okay, the Technology and Finance Committees have 3 items on tonight's agenda. The Technology Committee has item number 4, which is at first reading, and it is to appropriate $697.58 for the purchase of a video projector for use by City Council. Item number 5 is from Finance and is to accept and appropriate $3,795.40 received as an insurance reimbursement for damages to city property. And then item number 6 is from Technology and is to appropriate $1,617.39 for the purchase of a computer for use in the Transit Department. That one, I believe, will 5 and 6, I will ask at the appropriate time to waive the 3-read rule for both of those. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Poole. Any other committee reports? Yes, Mr. Tatman.
Thank you, President Arnold. I'm going to report first for the city services. Item number 7 is to do with the $16,900 upgrade on the HVAC for the city administration building. Mr. Clay called me this evening and requested that I would to speak about this. Now, as far as the engineering committee, up for a second read, item number 3. Now, this is to approve a rezoning issue with Stone Ridge Court, Stone Ridge Drive. We are to have a public hearing scheduled for May 8th, 2017. Mr. Clausen, do you know where that meeting is going to be?
It'll be here at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
immediately prior to the council meeting.
So we're allowed to read this one more time, but we cannot pass it until after we have a public hearing on this. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tatman. Any other committee reports? Yes, Ms. Corcoran.
Yes, the Park and Rec Committee has a 3rd reading on the grant the use of the city park and surrounding streets for preparation, operation, and cleanup of the annual Feast of the Flowering Moon from Wednesday, May 24th through Monday, May 29th, and a 2nd reading supporting Camp Sherman Days, the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Camp Sherman. And that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Corcoran. Yes, Ms. Green.
I'm glad to have a committee assignment tonight. And a couple that I'm very interested in, I think, and excited for the community. And the first one on a serious note is our health levy that will be coming up. I will be getting with the committee the first of next week so that we can request the legislation through our law director's office in reference to our resolution, in reference to us supporting that levy. It is very important that we as council members step out in front of that levy because we know the impact of not passing it will have on the entire community. And I'm sure that our mayor will be saying more about that in reference to what we will be doing. But I would like to just right now just say that in polling all the council people that we support that, but we will be asking for a resolution for that. The next event is really exciting to the community because I think we all get excited when we think we're going to get a barrier. And the mayor brought to us the idea, to city council, the idea of city-ized community, a yard sale. So we are looking forward to that, and it would give us an opportunity to get rid of a lot of items while making a little money right before the collection of large items. So I will also be, this is a change in terms of not accepting, not having to pay a fee for that. We'll be also working with the law director to give us a change on that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Curran. Any other committee reports? Not seeing any. We have our reports from our mayor, who is not here this evening, but Mr. Carmen, do you have anything that you would like to say in his absence?
Yes, thank you, President Arnold. Item number 7, the administration would just support that item. That will help with some savings as far as energy costs, and it also make it much more pleasant to work in that building across the street as far as comfort and stuff for employees. Things going on around the city. We've dusted off our mowers, and hopefully you've seen those out and about, and we're trying to get ahead of the grass. With all the rain, we've run into a couple issues where we can't get to some areas just because the water's laying in areas, and I've asked them not to tear up the yard and stuff, that we would just wait for it to dry out, to don't get in there and get those mowers buried and stuff where it just creates more problems. And last but certainly not least, Linda Hardesty, a longtime employee of the city, will be retiring Thursday in the engineering office. If you're available, stop by and tell her goodbye and give her some well wishes. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Carmen. Our auditor, Ms. Crystal Spanego.
The only thing I have tonight is just to announce that the Income Tax Department will be having extended hours starting tomorrow through April the 18th, next Tuesday. We will be open an additional 90 minutes, so we'll be open from 7:30 until 6 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. Our law director, Ms. Rutherford.
Thank you, President Arnold. Just to let you know that the Ohio Center for Law-Related Education, the middle school mock trial showcase was held a couple weeks ago. One of my staff members was so kind to go and to volunteer to act as a 2017 mock trial showcase, which had nearly 500 students from 32 schools across the state. And we were happy to lend a little support to that group, and they did very well. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Rutherford. Report from myself, I really don't have anything to say. Which is probably a good thing for everybody. But Easter is going to be coming up. I'll wish everybody a happy Easter before we get into our next meeting. I'll kind of get on the bandwagon with the health district levy. Very important to our community, and we'll look forward to legislation coming before council with support of that here soon. Moving on, we have audience participation. I didn't have anybody on the sign-in sheet. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address council this evening? Not seeing anybody. Move into old business. Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring up? Not seeing any old business. Mr. Fossen, do you have any petitions or correspondence that you'd like to bring forward to us?
Mr. President, just have one thing. We did receive a notice from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control of the transfer of a permit from Hannah Steakhouse Incorporated of 1015 North Bridge Street to Hannah Japanese Steakhouse LLC, doing business as Hannah Japanese Steakhouse of the same location. And that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fossen. Moving forward, we move into new business. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to bring up? Yes, Ms. Coleman.
Yes, I'd like to ask that we excuse Councilman Clay and Councilman Florima this evening.
Individually, Mr. Paulson, or do both? Okay, I have a motion to excuse our 2 absent council members, seconded by Ms. Patrick. Roll call on that motion, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
We have excused our missing members. Any other new business? Not seeing any. We'll move on to committee assignments and meeting dates. As Mr. Tapman said, May 8th, 2017, we're going to have a public hearing about some rezoning on Stone Ridge Court. I don't have any other dates to bring forward at this time. Committee assignments that have been given out since our last meeting. We've got a few. I'll try to go through them as briefly as I can. Community Affairs, and Ms. Kearney brought this up. Request for legislation to waive the yard sale permit fee in support of the city's community yard sale for the weekend of June 2nd through June the 4th. Safety Services, a request for legislation to accept and appropriate $3,000 received by the police department from Ross County Auditor for bully prevention. Safety Services, a request for legislation to appropriate $1,000 for cost and expenses for a new copy machine for the probation department. Safety Services, request for review to consider a mass notification system for the city and county as a joint program. For Transit, a request for legislation to approve the bloodborne pathogens exposure control plan and the safety, security, and emergency preparedness plan for the Transit Department. For Development, request for legislation to authorize the Ohio Regional Development Corporation to file an application with the state of Ohio to participate in the 2007 CDBG Community Allocation Program and the 2017 CDBG Community Development Critical Infrastructure Competitive Set-Aside Program. That's a lot. And assignment to Safety Services, a request for legislation for financing 6 police vehicles and accessories totaling to $230,000. And that's been our assignments that have been given out since last meeting. At this time, we move on to legislation. We have 10 items on our agenda this evening. And whenever you're ready, Mr. Fawson, item number 1, please.
Third reading of a resolution granting use of the city park and surrounding streets from Wednesday, May 24th, 2017 at 5:00 p.m. through Monday, May 29, 2017 at 2:00 p.m. for preparation, operation, and cleanup of the annual Feast of the Flowering Moon and providing for coordination of its events with the City Parks and Recreation Department. Third reading.
Since this is third reading, roll call on that resolution, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
And that resolution has passed. Item number 2.
Second reading of a resolution supporting Camp Sherman Days, the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Camp Sherman. Second reading.
Moving on to item 3.
Second reading of an ordinance approving the action of the Planning Commission of the City of Chillicothe in rezoning property located at Stone Ridge Court at Stone Ridge Drive, Chillicothe, Ohio, from suburban residential multiple family district to single family residential district. Second reading.
Item number 4.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $697.58 for the purchase of a video projector for use by City Council and declaring emergency. First reading.
Item number 5.
First reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating $3,795 received as insurance reimbursement for damages to city property and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Mr. Kroll.
At this time, I'd ask that we please waive the three-read rule.
I have a motion to waive the three-read rule, seconded by Mrs. Gray. Roll call on that motion, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
That motion has been passed. Roll call on the ordinance, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that ordinance has been passed. Item number 6.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $1,617.29 for the purchase of a computer for use within the transit department and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Mr. Kroll.
At this time, I would respectfully ask that we waive the three-read rule.
I have a motion to waive the three-read rule, seconded by Mrs. Patrick. Roll call on that motion.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
That motion has been approved. Roll call on the ordinance.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that ordinance has passed. Item number 7.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $16,900 to upgrade the HVAC control system in the city administration building and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Item number 8.
First reading of a resolution amending Chapter 111 of the revised codified ordinances of the City of Chillicothe, Ohio, to provide that the President and members of City Council shall be elected for 4-year terms, and resolving that said amendments should be placed before the electors at the election to be held November 7, 2017. First reading.
Number 9.
First reading of an ordinance adding sections 111.01C and 111.10C to the codified ordinances of the City of Chillicothe.
And item number 10.
First reading of an ordinance accepting and adopting the new City of Chillicothe Transit System Procurement Policy, the Chillicothe Transit System Financial Management Policies, and the CTS QuickBooks Accounts Payable and Receivable Procedures for the Transit Department. First reading.
Unless anybody has anything to add, that concludes our business this evening. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'd like to announce the committee meeting.
Okay.
It's for next Monday at 6:30 for the community committee.
Okay. Here in Chambers?
Yes.
Here in Chambers. Next Monday at 6:30. Okay. Anything else? Not seeing. Motion for adjournment by Mrs. Corcoran, seconded by Mrs. Gray. Roll call on that motion.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
Folks, we are adjourned for the evening. Enjoy this beautiful weather.